On yesterday, I left the radio dealing with the fact that knowledge is going to be increased during the kingdom age. It will be defined as a time of full knowledge. And one of the reasons for this is because the Spirit of the Lord will be there, will be manifest. Satan will be bound in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. And the knowledge of the Lord shall cover the earth like the waters cover the sea. Anytime you remove the Spirit of the Lord, you remove the area of understanding and knowledge. The evolutionist says it will have a secular education and secular knowledge. And the end result of that is what we have today. We've got a society of people that are running around like Chicken Little. They're afraid the sky is going to fall. They find a booger man behind every bush. They think that everything's going to kill them. The air we breathe is going to kill us. The water we drink is going to kill us. A meteor is going to hit the earth and we're all going to die, because the Spirit of God is a spirit of understanding. And you would think that with proper learning and proper education that would develop into an area of understanding, that people would have understanding, that they would have wisdom and knowledge. But you remove the Spirit of God, you remove the divine factor of learning, the divine element of learning, and you no longer have understanding. You have strong delusion, like the booklet that my grandfather wrote that I'm advertising and offering during the days of this month. You become delusional, you become deluded. Strong delusion comes upon men. During the kingdom age, men will go up to Jerusalem not only to worship the Lord Jesus Christ, but they will go to Jerusalem to be taught of the Lord's ways. And being taught of the Lord's ways, they will be able to walk in His paths. You can't walk in a way you have not been instructed or educated to walk in. I want to move forward today and point out the fact that the curse is going to be removed. Now, there's a curse upon the earth, and that curse was placed upon the earth because of Adam's transgression. So from the time of Adam and Eve being driven out of the Garden of Eden until the day in which you and I live, the earth has been under a curse. Men die because of the curse upon the human family. The earth grows thorns and briars and briar patches and thickets because of the curse. We have hurricanes and tornadoes and typhoons because of the curse upon the earth. We have inclement weather because of the curse upon the earth. This curse will run all the way through the end of the tribulation period. And in the early days of the millennial kingdom, the curse will be removed from the earth. Now, there are a number of results that will come from this. Men desire rest. Men desire peace. That's a major difference between those of us that are Bible believers and the leftist socialist antagonist. Bible believers, born-again believers, conservative individuals, Bible-believing and Constitution-reading people like you and me are not antagonists. We want to be at rest. We want to be at peace. We want to enjoy the fruit of our labor. We want to enjoy our labor. I have no intention of ever retiring. I enjoy coming to the radio. I intend to give the radio up when I become incapacitated and can no longer maintain the program, or I die. I don't ever plan to retire from the Bright Spot Hour. I don't ever plan to retire from the ministry. I don't take vacations. I haven't been on a vacation. I can't recall the last time I was on a vacation. I schedule no vacations. I book no vacations. I may take a day here and go with my wife somewhere, or take a day there and go off. But taking a week, leaving town for a week, no, I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be on my farm. I'd rather be with my livestock. If I need to take a break, I'll spend 2 or 3 hours on my tractor working the land. Now to me, that's real relaxation. to get on that tractor. I have 2 tractors. The Lord has been kind to me. And one of those tractors I've had for nearly 20 years, and I've put almost 800 hours on it myself, not including the other equipment that I've run. And if I need a break, I can get on one of those tractors and spend 3 or 4 hours working the land, and I just enjoy that so much. To me, that's better than a week at the beach. I'd just rather get on that tractor and work for a while. And some of you that hear the Bright Spot Hour, we have cows and livestock, sheep and goats, and I have a number of my friends that I'm aware of that hear the Bright Spot Hour and support the Bright Spot Hour. And you have livestock. I've been on your land. I've been in your home to eat when I've been out in revival. And you have livestock just like I do, and you do the same thing that I do, and how relaxing that is. Now let me get back to what I was trying to say. Men desire to be at peace. They desire to enjoy the fruit of their labor. They desire to sit under their own vine and enjoy the work that God has given them to do in the land that God's allowed them to have. Unfortunately, we have an element in society called Antifa, called Black Lives Matters, called the left, called the statist, called the leftist fascist, and they're agitators. They call themselves community organizers. They're community agitators. And the unrighteous have no peace, and they have no rest. And they're not going to allow any of the rest of us to have any peace or any rest. And the whole of their life is occupied with stirring up trouble and just making trouble for everybody else, causing conflict and hardship and difficulty, and just messing. They just constantly mess with everything. Now, believers don't do that, and that's one of the reasons why conservatives get outfoxed and outsmarted sometimes, because we don't think in terms of what can I do to hurt that individual over there? What can I do to get even with that individual? We want to be left alone, to read the Bible, to pray, to love our wives, to rear our children, and then later to help rear our grandchildren. We want to be left alone, to go to church, to worship God, and after the church service is over, to go home, go back to our homes, and to enjoy our lives with our families. Well, now in the millennial kingdom, the agitators are going to be put down, because the agitator, the devil, the adversary, the accuser of the brethren, is going to be bound in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years. What a wonderful, wonderful day that's going to be. And when the devil is bound in the bottomless pit for 1,000 years, everything on earth is going to change. That will set the stage for the change of everything on earth. The curse, because Satan will be bound, the curse will be removed. No longer will a thorn grow on the stem of a rose. No longer will the earth produce kudzu and briar patches and thorns and thistles. No longer will scrub weeds grow up into scrub trees that have to be cut down and thinned out. No longer will a pasture be marred, the beautiful grass in a pasture be marred by weeds and undesirables that grow up that goats won't even eat. I mean, nothing will eat it. All of that will be put away. Now, because the curse is going to be lifted, there are a number of things that I'd like to point out to you on the program, and I'm going to run out of time on the program today, so I'll have to try to pick up with this again on the broadcast tomorrow. But the curse being lifted will set the stage for abundant reproduction. Secondly, the lifting of the curse will remove from the animal kingdom their fear of man. And involved in that will be the ferociousness of the animal kingdom, the poison and the venom of the animal kingdom. Let's deal, number one, with this abundant reproduction. You realize that God is the author of reproduction, that God is the author of be fruitful and multiply. That's what God told Adam and Eve. That is what God told Noah's children when they came off the ark. It is the work of the devil to reduce reproduction. I hear all the smart people, Gates and all of that cabal of oligarchs, and Bill Gates said that an optimum population for planet Earth will be 750 million people. That's slightly more than twice the population of the United States. The average individual has no concept of just how big planet Earth is. And really, land is not a very scarce commodity. Land is only scarce where you have very dense populations. You have an acre that'll sell for $1 million as a commercial property on a corner lot in the intersection of two 7-lane highways that are intersecting. But by and large, there's abundant land. There's abundant land in the United States of America. They talk about a land shortage, water shortage, and all that, and that we need to cut down the population of the Earth to 750 million people. The brain drain on the Earth would be unfathomable if something like that took place. It would be beyond our ability to comprehend if you reduce the population from 7.5 billion down to 750 million people. And that's what they talk about. So they give sterilization drugs. Bill Gates is involved in that in Africa. They give sterilization drugs so that mothers cannot reproduce and fathers cannot reproduce and can leave behind no offspring. That is exactly the opposite of the purpose of God. It is the will of God for men to marry women and for men to know their wives and for those wives to conceive and bear children. And the father is to provide for the home, and the mother is to guide the home, and the parents are to rear their children in the nurture and in the admonition of the Lord. And those children are to marry, and they are to reproduce. And those grandchildren are to marry, and they are to reproduce. It is the devil that is the author of abortion. It is the devil that is interested in women killing their unborn babies. It is the devil that is interested in depopulation. God is interested in the population of people. Now my time is gone, and I'll pick up with this by the grace of God on the program tomorrow.
Website at thebrightspothour.com. You may write the Bright Spot Hour at Post Office Box 4, Greenville,